Disney's remake of Snow White, which would more aptly be named Snow Blight, is starting to make the rounds, and we're asking the question if this movie even makes financial sense. And Bob Iger, he is determined to run Disney into the ground. So, no. Things are not changing, and Kathleen Kennedy is staying right where she is. Also, the Actors Guild is just a bunch of degeneracy, and people are mad that Elon is paying, well, not them. Welcome, folks, to the Puppet Daily-ish, where we stick more to the ish than the daily, but we're hoping that eventually changes somehow. Disney's Snow White is looking extra special. No, those aren't the main actors. Those are what we would call extras, or stand-ins. So, yes, this is exactly the Snow White we're getting, and what it's going to look like. This thing's going to bomb harder than The Little Mermaid. 100%. Let's look at some of these numbers here, shall we? Back in 2012, we had two Snow White movies that came out. Snow White and the Huntsman and Mirror Mirror. Snow White and the Huntsman, starring Chris Hemsworth and Twilight chick, had a box office value of $396 million, and it had a budget of $170 million. Mirror Mirror had 183 as a box office haul and a budget of $100 million. And again, this is going back to 2012 numbers, okay, when ticket prices were substantially less, and yeah. Okay, and then 2016, the Huntsman's Winter's War was a box office haul of 165 with a $115 million budget. And now you get up to Snow White of Disney's remake Snow Blight with an estimated budget of $200 million. Valiant Renegade believes that Snow White and the Huntsman will beat out Disney's Snow White remake, and I wholeheartedly agree. People for the last 12 years have proven they don't want to see Snow White, even if it has star power like Julia Roberts, the better Hemsworth, Chris, Twilight chick, Charlize Theron, or Emily Blunt. Even if you have 12 dwarves playing the roles. Never mind changing everything and making the story about everything that's not Snow White other than the name. So, yes, this movie is going to tank hard. It's going to go down, and it's going to be hilarious to watch. Disney will not learn. Disney is going to put their foot down and keep going with what they're doing. And it isn't working. Speaking of things that just aren't working at Disney, Bob Iger is now sticking around Disney on paper until 2032. Yes, the media reports all say 2026, but there's more to it than that always. So, what does this mean for Disney as a whole? Well, it means that things are not changing. For those of us that were hoping that Kathleen Kennedy was going to be goned after Indiana Jones' accomplishment of greatest box office flop ever for Disney, nope. Now, will Disney try to make up some of the lost money to pay for things? Instead, they're going to be creating quality products? No, they're going to go and sell ABC. Likely portions of it. Likely the news and any upcoming shows they have in development for next year. Which, if you have been paying attention, is kind of funny, because they can't really have anything in development, because there's no writers, and now no actors, which more on that in a few moments. But none of the shows that are currently on Disney Plus will be sold over, alright? And only a conglomeration company, like the one that purchased the CW, would be able to do it, because of all the FTC stuff. Bob Iger's extension is the nail in the coffin. Whatever's inside that coffin is going to try and claw its way out. But a post-mortem in 20 years, when the remains are allowed to be exhumed and evaluated, you're going to see the marks of something trying to get out, but because of those in charge currently of the company, they have contempt and hate that thing, that creature. So, they sealed its fate and killed it, and that is what we would call family-friendly Disney. It's dead, folks. And in that vein, we're continuing with the Actors Guild strike, and that's causing more havoc now in Hollywood. So, the shows you don't want to watch because of the terrible writing and terrible acting, well, they're not going to be in production, meaning you're going to have to wait even longer.
Well, except for the Rings of Power, they just pushed through with all the bad writing. And as promised by the actresses, that means that this show is going to have some real story this time. Yeah, and even think about how much better it's going to be on the Rings of Power this time too, because now the actors, they can't go back and react things, so they can't fix the story and they can't react it. So literally, what's the thing I have now is it. That's it, and it's flippin' hilarious.
The actors have been told not to bring weapons or drugs or be under the influence of either to the picket lines. This is the state of Hollywood. It is degenerate. Alright, so these are the people that tell us how to save the world and how to live. And they're being told not to bring weapons or drugs to a picket line. Don't take these people seriously. However, that being said, Bob Iger, he will have far fewer losses to report in the next year, thanks to the actors and the writers. So in some funny way, he should probably just acquiesce to their demands and terms and thank them. And you should probably thank them publicly for having to save him the humiliation of having to report more losses. On to Wilton.
Why, thank you, Floral. My hero Elon, he's back in the news. And no, it's not because other people are trying to steal his stuff or whatever. It's because Elon is making people sad and mad that he's not paying money to them, but instead paying money to other people. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a moment, kids, and we're going to play this game, okay? I want you to say this word after me. Are you ready? It's a tricky one. It's got like 2 syllables. Okay, are you ready? Ready? Okay, here we go. Say this word with me. Value. Yes, value. Good job, kids. You can say value. Now, maybe some of you guys don't know what value is. Value, for like a very simple way of understanding it, is making sure that something's better or growing, okay? So when you add value to something, you're making it better or growing. Now, if you're in this culture and you expect people to make you better and growing, you're not adding value. That's called being selfish, okay? So you want to be giving. You want to add value to other people. All right, so say it with me. I want to add value. Okay, there you go. Good job. I want to add value. Yes. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, so Elon, he's adding value to those who add value to him and his company. Okay, so think about that for a moment. So if you do a good job and you add value to him, he's going to add value to you monetarily. So those people that are all sad and upset that they didn't get a payout is because they are not adding value. Yeah, that's right. So say that again with me, folks. Value. 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 Yeah, so there you go. There's the life lesson for you. Add value.